Hey, kindergarten students, we have been working a lot lately with patterns, and we've been practicing our patterns with different lines that we know how to make. We practicing our pattern with different shapes and combining those. So we've done a lot of different patterns lately, and you can use patterns in all types of your artwork. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to keep kind of playing with those patterns because they're great practice for you at home, and it's a great way to do your art. So I'm going to show you how to start the drawing, and then I want you to spend the rest of your art time once the video is over. Just keep working on the drawing until your art time's done. Okay, so let's get going. So what we're going to do is you're going to draw a picture of yourself. So let me make this big. Okay, and when you draw a picture of yourself, so you're going to put you on this side of the page. Okay, now before you draw yourself, I want you to do something a little bit special. So you're going to start with your head, and I'm going to draw my head right here. Okay, now before I draw my body, okay, I'm going to put a little rectangle right here, okay? And I'm going to put a circle right here. That's because I'm going to draw myself wearing a scarf. I know that it's getting very warm out, but I thought that this would be a kind of a fun drawing and a fun way to practice patterns, okay? Now, for the rest of your body, maybe draw down like this and draw some arms, okay? And you might draw some lines down like this, and now you've got a shirt. Okay, you could draw your hands if you want to just draw some fingers. You can do that. You could draw a mitten shape if you wanted to. Okay, and then you can draw a pants. You could draw a skirt. You could draw shorts. Whatever you want to do. Probably not shorts since you're wearing a scarf, but I'm going to draw really long legs because Mr. Bremer is tall. You guys actually have never met me in person, but I'm a really tall guy. Okay, so I'm going to put some shoes right here, and then of course I'm going to draw in my face. We'll worry about finishing that up later. Now, here's the tricky part. So if you're still working on this part, you might want to pause the video until you're done with your drawing of you. Okay. Now, this part here, we're going to draw the scarf. Okay. And what I want you to do, we're going to make a super long scarf where like you're wearing an infinity scarf. Okay. And I'm going to draw a line that goes way up here. Okay. Way up here. And then it's going to kind of go around all the way to the edge of the paper. So I kind of twist it right here. Okay. So look at how this line goes up towards the top of the paper and then twists around. That's what we want to do. Then this line, you're going to do a follow line. So I'm going to come up like this and I'm going to just sort of follow the same shape of this line here. Okay. And I'm going to let it be nice and big like that. And it's going to curve around also. Now this one, I'm going to keep going with this one. And then this one, I'm going to go back towards me. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to curve this one way around towards the bottom of the page like that. Okay. Then this, I'm going to follow this line. Okay. So I'm going to pick this line up again. I'm going to follow. And I'm going to loop it back up like that. I'm going to follow this one. And then I'm going to end it. Okay. Then I'm going to break my scarf into different sections by drawing lines like this. And then you can do little yarns here too if you want. Now, what do you do now? Now you fill in your scarf with patterns. Okay. So take your markers or your crayons or your colored pencils or whatever it is you want to do to make your patterns and start putting your patterns inside your scarf. So I'm going to do like a zigzag pattern here. You could do stripes, you could do shapes, you can create a combination of different things. We have been doing tons of different patterns, so you can copy some of mine, but I want you to come up with your own too. Maybe like a bubbles pattern. Fill in. that. Maybe a checkerboard pattern. Something like this, where I colored in a little bit. I'm going kind of quick right now. So take your time, color it in really nicely as you're working. And then keep going. Now, if you run out of ideas, you could repeat it. So if you're like, oh, I got all the way here and I don't know what else to do, well, do another zigzag pattern or do another circle pattern. But I bet you can keep thinking, like, think of all the different lines you know how to do. You know how to do straight lines, zigzag lines, castle lines, looping lines, dotted lines, dashed lines, wavy lines. Okay, so you know all those different types of lines. So just taking those lines can help you make a pattern. Just straight lines. We know that straight lines, that makes a pattern. Okay, now that's a little bit boring of a pattern. So what you could maybe add either more straight lines or maybe like dashed lines in between. Come up with different ideas of what might be kind of cool looking patterns and add little extra pieces of flair into those patterns. Let me show you this pattern city I was drawing. You could do thick stripes, shapes. This one I did waves and then I added little dots. A girl in my class was doing a flower pattern. I really like that. Just little X's. That makes kind of a cool pattern. This one here, somebody was doing balloons, okay? So we did little circles with little wiggles, okay? So but then I added, because she had flamingos on her shirt, so we did the little flamingos pattern, flamingo and balloon pattern, a diamond pattern. Okay, so any of these, okay? I'll leave these here if you want to kind of pause your video and look at these for some ideas. You could do that. But just take these patterns and fill in your whole winter scarf, okay? And then you can show it to me next week in class, all right? So spend the rest of your art time working on those patterns. Maybe you finish today, maybe you don't quite finish, that's fine. And I'm excited to see what you did. Keep up the good work, kindergarten, and I'll see you live next week.